Okay, Paul, here we are outside lane on our way south out of Manchester. Seeing the set of traffic lights in the outside lane. A little bit of a hand and shuffle. Looking across the lights, we can see that there's a bus lane on the inside lane. She's going to force the car on your inside to move across. Good observation. Let the car move in front. Good positioning, moving to the outside of the lane to look up the lane of traffic. Very busy around here, lots of buses, lots of students, lots of cars. Keeping a good distance, good observations. Car on the inside turning left, we've got brake lights. You get a little bit impatient here. Pull to the inside when there's a guy waiting to come across. And the inside lane is now for turning left only. You're faced with undertaking the Mini, which you have now to pull back in. He has to brake. There's his brake lights. Bad manoeuvre. Again, bus lane on the inside lane. Lots of buses, lots of students. You're holding a good position. Back from the car in front of you. And slowing the car behind you so they leave a reasonable gap. Nice lady in the Mini pulls over to allow me to pull alongside and join you. So it makes it a little bit easier to film. Good acceleration sense, no feet down. Glance at the bus on your inside lane, which is closing your gap. Staying out towards the white line to get a better view of the road. Plenty of conflicting traffic on our right hand side, bus pulling away. Good observation, move back into the inside lane and back out again. Stationary traffic, nice early manoeuvre, made a decision to filtering down the road, keeping a lookout for pedestrians who are crossing all over the place. Went up to crossings, didn't overtake the lead vehicle, good manoeuvre. Now turning left onto the M56, going towards Chester. Buses on the inside, should have stayed out in the outside lane, would have protected you a little bit more, give you a better view up the road. Accelerating away, it's 50, 50 miles an hour. Good join, stayed in the inside lane, kept pace with the traffic. It's at this point that things started to go a little bit badly while we're on the motorway. As we pass the junction, come up to two road signs that tell us we're now on a motorway. Now we're at 70 miles an hour, but we're doing 50 miles an hour. Relatively dangerous for us now as we're not keeping pace with the traffic, lots of cars overtaking us, and we've got a slip road approaching on our left hand side. We can't pull out because we're not doing the same speed as the traffic that we're on the road with. We're having to maintain our position. We've now got another slip road on our left hand side with lots of traffic merging from our left, two lanes. Ideally we should be in the middle lane, making some reasonable progress and keeping away from the traffic. Traffic still moving away from us, we're still doing 50 miles an hour. Penny hasn't dropped yet, and we're still doing 50 miles an hour in a 70 mile an hour zone. Lots of cars overtaking us, no safety issues, just a little frustrating. You're having a good look around, you're trying to work out why everybody else is doing considerably faster than we are. Still doing 50 miles an hour, more motorway signs. I think the pennies just started to drop. We're now doing 70 miles an hour. We're catching the white van in front of us. Clearly we're catching him quite quickly. Should have moved out into the middle lane earlier. Now we're catching the white van, but you'll notice here we are going past popular services. Could have straight lined the roundabout. There was no conflict on our right hand side. We should have indicated left coming off the roundabout. Earlier position to take the white line on the outside and then move back onto the inside as we come round to a left hand bend. So by the time you're moving back out, you should have been moving back in. Stayed out far too long, should have moved back in again earlier. Same again, should be back out to the white line, then back into the curb. Good spot on the two cyclists, giving them a wide berth, up the hill. Good road position to move to the left for a right hand bend. Again, a little bit slow moving back out to the centre line. Some conflict in traffic, but it was quite a way away. Series of bends now where we go left and right. You're holding pretty much a middle of the road position instead of taking advantage of the view. Same again, not connecting the bends together, just lacks the smoothness that you would expect. Looking for another right hand bend and a left hand bend. Never quite get out to the white line, don't stay there. Should have stayed there all the time. Good view up the road. We're doing 60 miles an hour national speed limit. So road on our left hand side, observations would have shown you through the trees that there was a car approaching. You move away, but then you drift back in again before the road, and what you should have been doing was moving well away. There's the car, there's the one we should have been avoiding. Again, a series of right and left hand bends. Nice early position for the left hand bend, but never really got to the curb. Right in the middle of the road, now drifting to the left. So we're looking up the road now, deciding where the risks are. There's a sign that tells us the junction on the left hand side. Middle of the road would have been a better position here. Got some conflict of cars coming the other way. Very blind bend on our left hand side with the junction. Should have moved well away from there. There's the blind junction. Right hand bend followed by a left hand bend. Never really got into the right positions. A little bit slow moving over to the left. Same again. Right, nice position on the white line. Very slow moving back out. Overshot the bend. 60 miles an hour, nice speed. Batting along. Good road position. No conflict for us. Nice bright light. Keeping away from the cars on the other side of the road. Keeping to the left so that the lurkers behind the front vehicles can see you coming. Approaching to a busy junction. The signs tell us that there's traffic lights ahead. Should be nice early observations to make sure we've got no conflict behind. There's the red lights, brake lights. As we approach, the lights change. We've got a stagger to the right and to the left, which is basically straight on at this junction. So we've got a red light, traffic moving across, and there's the lights change, red, amber, and then green. Nice acceleration sense. We need to put the feet down, and away we go. 50 miles an hour. As we cross here, good observation to the left, good observation to the right. As we go to the left now, should have stayed out wide to the right hand side of the lane. Would have got a much better view up the road and been able to accelerate a lot earlier. Again, middle of the road. There is conflicting traffic on the other side, but it's a big wide road and they're a long way away. Now it's difficult to see around the bend, but if you take my position, which is on the other side of the road, you would have had a good view. And you'd have seen the guy indicating to turn left. As he turns left, he stays into the middle of the road, which causes you a little bit of a problem and causes the guy who wants to overtake him a bit of a problem as well. Bad manoeuvre, should have stayed behind them both. Here we are now coming out of Knutsford. Very busy traffic. As we approach up here now, you'll see that there are hatchings in the middle of the road, which separates the two lanes of traffic on a fairly wide road. You should take advantage of this and ride by the white lines, if not even in the hatchings, to see up the road. Any conflict is going to come from our left hand side. You get a much better view from being out on the white line. Also, the next bend is to the left. So, a little bit too much middle of the road. As the road bends to the left, you go back into the inside and then you come back out. Middle of the road, should be over to the left hand side. If you look at my position, I'm considerably over to the left hand side and you're dawdling along in the outside of the lane. Looking up the road, got a change in speed limit sign to national speed limit. We're approaching a roundabout. Approaching the roundabout, you're doing better off being in the left hand side of the lane so you can see to the right and see the traffic that's going to emerge onto the roundabout. At this point, straight line in the roundabout, no indication of left. Would have helped any other road users at that point. Lots of traffic. You've got to calculate here how many of these cars you can overtake, what is a safe manoeuvre, and what the advantages of overtaking them are. Don't want to be in a hurry, don't want to be in a rush, don't want to be the first one at the accident. Single white line crosses, away we go up the road. Nice safe manoeuvre back in where the towing line was. Looking around the bend, staying out towards the white line, good positioning. Looking around the bend again. Again, should have drifted back in to the left a little bit earlier, not joining the bends together. Looking up the road, nice early manoeuvre, good overtake. Probably would have given him a little bit more room in terms of pulling to the other side. Looking around the bend again, it's a left-hand bend. I've lost my view of you now from the camera, but I can see where you are. Busy traffic, bright lights, busy junction. Cars going left and right. That's basically it. A nice safe ride, couple of big mistakes.